Tim, can you share any other techniques that will help teams improve their starting?
Sure. Well, I mean, team racing, as it's gotten more advanced, sort of breaks down into 3 individual match races that are going on. And those match races may sort of interact with each other, but I think probably a really basic skill that everyone needs to have is just being really good at match racing. And there's a lot of ways to study match racing out there. You know, sort of the basics of the lead chase game, coming from the safe zone in the lower right corner, and you know, being really good at the time and distance in that lead chase game, so you know whether you want to be leading your opponent or trailing, and you know, whether you're leading or trailing, knowing how to defend or attack from those 2 positions.
Thanks, Tim. Tim mentioned the lead chase game and that often a team race start comes down to 3 separate match races. Let's discuss some basic strategy to help you win your match race. To match race successfully, you first need to understand the overall starting area. Let's look. It's really important to understand the lay lines, such as the pin lay line and the boat lay line. And one of the reasons is this area to the left of the pin lay line and the area above the starting line is known as the zone of death. The reason is, if you get over here, blue boat on starboard can pin you from coming back. If you head up and try to tack, they have starboard tack advantage and you can't tack too close. Or if you do, they're on starboard and you have to tack back. And if you bear away and try to jibe, they also have you there on starboard. So staying away from the pin area and the starting line area in the pre-start is very important. So this is the zone of death. You want to avoid it. This is the safe zone. Most sailors in the pre-start that are good, they sail this way because they know it's safe. From this area, you can always approach and get a good start without worry that someone's going to pin you past pin lay line or push you over early. We're over here in the safe zone and we're battling with a competitor. The time when you choose to head back to the line is often one of the most critical decisions you'll make in the pre-start. Sometimes your competitor heads back to the line before you. And in this moment you have to make a decision. Should you lead or should you follow? And this is critical. There are a few rules to help you decide what to do. So your competitor's heading back to the line, and now it's your choice. If you think that they are early, you should chase them, because they're going to get up to the line, the zone of death, early, and then you will have advantage. If you think that they're late, you should lead them, because they're going to be late to the start. So why not lead them, steal their wind, and then you get a good start by yourself. Now, if your opponent chooses about the right time to head back to the line, meaning you're looking at your watch and you're thinking about going back now too, you have 2 factors to consider. So they go back at about the right time. If it's light air, you should lead them. It's much easier to cover someone in light air. But if it's breezy and they go back at about the right time, you should chase them. You always get to the line sooner than you think in the breeze, and also, if they're trying to cover you, it's very difficult to do that when it's windy. So a quick recap. If they're early, you should chase them. If they're late, you should lead them. And if they're at about the right time, you lead in light air and chase in heavy air. Hooking and posting up are moves the chasing boat does in order to achieve a tight to leeward start or to post up above their opponent so they can sail straight off the line or tack and go right. Okay, the chasing boat trying to hook. They accelerate in, acquiring an overlap on the boat ahead. Then they luff them head to wind. And now they control when both boats go for the line. If there's only a few seconds left before the start, this is the perfect move because blue bears away to get a good start and red is late. Posting up is when blue fakes the hook. Usually, the red boat will bear away, trying to prevent the overlap. When they do, blue heads up and luffs, sometimes slightly past head to wind, and then bears away. Red heads up, but now blue has achieved a gap between them and can sail fast off the line heading left, or they can tack immediately after the start and head right. Now let's talk about the lead boat here. How do you prevent the hook or the post up? So what happens when blue goes for the hook, red should bear away, matching speed and angle, therefore preventing blue from acquiring an overlap. If they do this, blue cannot hook. Blue will usually here head up hard, and if red watches them closely and heads up hard as well, they can luff them, and now they have the tight to leeward position, not allowing blue to post up. So we talked about the chasing boat, hooking and posting up, and what the lead boat does to prevent that. Now I want to give you a quick tip for the lead boat and the chase boat. The lead boat's goal in a hooking post-up game is to stay in sync with the boat behind. So when blue goes down, red goes down. When blue heads up, red heads up. If red can keep it close, they prevent blue from bearing away again and going for another hook. Now if you're the boat behind, what you should be trying to do is be out of sync with the boat ahead. So as you bear away to go for the hook, usually red starts to defend. As they're bearing away to defend, you head up and luff, therefore creating separation. When red heads up, now you start to bear away. You can either get the hook, or if red bears away, you now post up again. So the lead boat tries to stay in sync and keep it tight to leeward, and the boat behind tries to stay out of sync, always keeping a gap so they can come in for the hook again. It really ends up being a game of cat and mouse, who can execute the best. And the last thing to remember, if things get confusing, is 80 or 90% of the time, you always want to be the leeward-most boat at the start. So when in doubt, be tight to leeward and you'll get a great start. Keep in mind that the lead chase game and hooking or posting up are only tactics to use if an opponent is engaging you in the pre-start. If no one is in your area, and let's say your goal is to start in the middle of the line in a geographic start, there's no opponents around, just get a great start by yourself. That's the #1 goal. We're going to end the lesson with a few high-level strategies of championship teams, which will allow your team to have a common vision while racing.
When we first come off the starting line, we're looking for a 1-2 right off the bat.
We try to win 2 pair off the line, hammer our opponents, converting into play 2, which is a 2-3-4. We balance for each other all the way around the race course and win with a 2-3-4. Our team philosophy changes based on our competition. If we are sailing a really good team, we are more conservative. If we're sailing a weaker team, we are much more aggressive. Developing a team strategy is very important. If you don't come up with one on your own, I recommend borrowing one that you just heard until your team sails together long enough to come up with your own. In this video, we have discussed the winning combos, how to convert into them, and how to start well. With this knowledge and some practice, you should be well on your way to successful team racing. We wish you all the best of luck, and thank you for watching Teaching Team Racing 2008.